Good afternoon, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching. It is appreciated as always. The terrorist attack on a synagogue in Manchester earlier this week was completely preventable. All the terrorist attacks that have happened in the United Kingdom, or at least 90% of them, according to MI5, were completely preventable. But we have gutless, spineless, coward politicians. Now, despite what the Home Secretary said earlier this week, that the only person responsible for the attack was the attacker themselves, that's not really true. The police on Saturday were questioning 6 people arrested on suspicion of terror offences after an attack on a synagogue in northwest England that left 2 men and 2 men dead and the British Jewish community shocked and grieving. Jihad al-Shamimi, 25, was shot dead by police on Thursday outside Heaton Park Congregation Synagogue in Manchester after he rammed a car into pedestrians and attacked them with a knife and tried to force his way inside the building. 3 men and 3 women between 18 and in their 60s were arrested by in the Greater Manchester area on suspicion of commission, preparation and instigation of acts of terrorism as police work to determine whether the attacker acted alone. Congregation members Melvin Kravitz, 66, and Adrian Dolby, 53, died in the attack on Yom Kippur, which is the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. Police said Dolby was accidentally shot by an armed officer as he and other congregants barricaded the synagogue to block al-Shamimi from entering. 3 other men are hospitalised with serious injuries. Detectives say that al-Shamimi, a British citizen, a Syrian who lived in Manchester, may have been influenced by extremist Islamist ideology. No shit. Of course he was. Of course he was. Muslims, at least the extreme kind of Muslims, the Islamists, are taught from a very early age to hate Christians and to hate Jews, as they see as infidels. That's just a fact. Everybody knows this. You can argue that the moderate Muslims are not like this. Fair enough. Not all Muslims are the same. There are different branches of Islam. You've got Sunni, you've got Shia, you've got others. Of course, treat everybody as individuals. However, it is inherent in their holy book, and it's the interpretation of the book that causes problems. The Home Secretary and the Deputy Prime Minister were in Manchester yesterday, and they were heckled by a crowd. We're going to play this clip now.
This is our challenge to our political leaders who are here on the stage with us today. So therefore, I have great pleasure in introducing our Deputy Prime Minister, David Lammy. And before I do, please, we know how we all feel. They allowed hate on the street. They allowed hate on the campusing. They used their conducting. They rewarded terrorism. They allowed it. They've allowed it to grow. And I'm telling you, my children's school was closed today. You have allowed this to happen. David Lammy, you have allowed this to happen. You're all guilty of it all. You have allowed Jew hatred in Manchester on the street. You have allowed it. You are all guilty. You do not want you speaking here today. You do not speak in circles. You do not want you speaking. Shame on you. Shame on you.
I completely agree. I personally have never had any altercations with anybody of any religion, including Muslim. That is me personally. On a personal level, I need to make that clear. I've never had a problem with other religions. Me being a Christian person, I'm an open book, and I really don't have any issues. However, both Judaism and Islam are not native to Britain. This is an imported problem. Now, the Jewish section of British society has never been a problem. They are very small in number, and they go about their lives. It's the vocal minority of Muslim extremists that are causing the major problems. and we have no vetting of who we're letting into the country. This guy, this terrorist, this nutjob, should never have been in the country. He was granted refugee status, and his name is literally Jihad. And the Home Secretary, when he was the Home Secretary, is now the Deputy Prime Minister, David Lammy. No, he was the Foreign Secretary. That's my mistake. He was the Foreign Secretary. He actually approved 50 million of new support for the vulnerable Syrians. How many of these are going to be potential terrorists? What safeguarding is going to be put in place to make sure that we don't get a repeat of what happened in Manchester this week in 20 years or 10 years? It's a disgrace. Now, this guy, he wasn't on the terror watch list, but he was known to police because he was actually on bail for grape. That's right, he was actually on bail for suspected grape. This is the nutjob that decided he wanted to get stabby. He should have been on remand. He shouldn't have been in public circulation. It's as simple as that. And we all think that these things start at the home. It is. My parents informed the person I am. My family informed the person I am. And it seems to be true of this guy as well. Let's have a look at this image now. Manchester terrorist father praised October the 7th Hamas militants. Let's have a look now. Days after the terror group attacked Israel, Faraj al-Shamaimi said, "Men like these prove they are Allah's men on the earth." Now, the family has tried to distance themselves from their son, and they put out this statement, which I'll leave on screen. I'm not going to read it because I don't think it's genuine in terms of I don't think they mean it. I think they're putting out this statement for PR. I don't think they're putting out this statement because they truly believe it. I really don't. Me personally, you may not agree with me, but I have integrity. I'll always say what I believe, and I will never backpedal on a principle. That's just me. Now, if you look at some of the social media posts of this guy, one of the NHS doctors, by the way, if you look at some of the sickening posts that he put out before October the 7th, after the terrorist attack in Israel, and you look at what he put out after, it's clear his heart on this matter actually lies. And I want to be perfectly clear, I've said this on previous videos, the conflict in the Middle East is really not my concern, it's not my problem. Broadly speaking, I would be on Israel's side over the Islamists, broadly speaking. If you had a gun to my head and you were actually pinning me to the wall and saying, which side are you on? That would be my side. However, it's not my business. Keep me out of it. Keep Britain out of it. I really don't care either way. That's my view. Alright? All of this stuff is imported conflict. When you get Islamists being elected to our parliament, and when you get people saying that they care deeply about plasticine and they care deeply about the Middle East conflict over local issues that actually affect me and my people in the country, indigenous British people, these are the people that the MPs should be championing. These are the people that they should be concerned about. People peaceably living in the country that really don't give two hoots either way about whatever conflict is going on abroad. Now, I want to make a final point, and this isn't to downplay the attack on the synagogue, alright? Any loss of life in the United Kingdom by terrorists is wrong, and we need to call it out. You never see anything about all the Christians all over the world that are persecuted. You never see anything like that on the news, okay? There's Christians being taken out by Islamists all over the world, and you never hear anything about that. It's always the minority religions in our country are given primacy for some reason. It's like the media really don't care about Christians. Now, if you think that this was preventable on 2 or 3 counts, you let me know. First of all, he shouldn't have been in the country. Second of all, he was known to the police and he was on bail for grape. And thirdly, the dad's questionable comments on what happened in Israel on October the 7th. These 3 things should have had alarm bells written all over them. It's not fit for purpose. None of it's fit for purpose. The Home Office The Muslim network in the Home Office needs to be disbanded. There needs to be a complete overhaul on all of this. The safety of British citizens on British soil should be one of the only priorities that this government has. Any government has. And they fail on a routine basis. They say, don't look back in anger. Lessons will be learned. Never again. It happens all the fucking time. Enough is enough. Now, if you like this video and you think it makes some good points, you make me aware. Comment below, like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Have a good day.